A new week, a new episode on the CreativeLess podcast. For those who don't know what the concept of this podcast is that we are three hosts. And each week, one of us tries to bring a guest on the show that the other two hosts don't know who the guest is, so it's a kind of a surprise. Good so far, good so far. Now,
also helps keep the podcast unscripted, by the way.
Exactly. Now, one small detail is that, as you can understand, we might be in a scenario or a situation where we might contact the same guest. And we might get a positive response from the same guest with a difference in 2 hours. So this is exactly what happens today. I had a guest, and also Tausif had a guest, and we said, okay, let's go back-to-back episode, record back-to-back. So the first, my guest never appeared. I had everything set up ready here, and I'm gonna reveal really soon who the guest of this episode is. And Tausif said mine is okay, he's on track, so it's okay. And the guest for both of us was...
Want me to clap?
Nah.
Yeah, that was quite fun.
It worked out well in the end, but
It
like
worked out.
I kind of
Yeah.
thought this would happen, but I didn't think it would only take 5 episodes.
So, Josio, an amazing creator, MAKE.ART.NOW.
Amazing.
Also, he created a product as well for filmmakers, videographers, the Orbit, and
It's on Kickstarter right now.
And we're a pleasure to have him and watch what happened.
Let me tell you something. Chris and I can compare shadow ban lists. How many people you got on your shadow ban list, Chris?
Oh,
I bet you got less than me.
I'm
I
pretty
got a lot
ruthless.
on there.
Yeah, I'm pretty ruthless. Like
Gerald and I were just talking the other day about our lists and just like instant shadow ban, like
Yep,
bam,
done.
Goodbye. You don't even have a voice. See you
That's
later.
what I do. That's what I do from when I started.
Oh my god.
You just don't need that in your life. You do not need it.
Exactly.
Well, lately I've been getting a lot of pushback on wearing a mask in public. Like all of my videos when I'm outside, you see a mask
God.
on, and like people don't know. I'm like, it's the law out here in California. Like I don't know what rock you're living under, but you know, obviously some states or some countries don't have these kind of restrictions in place. But I get like the worst hate comments about that, just wearing a mask, and I'm like,
That's weird.
I'm like, do you guys not understand like
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
What
like,
the fuck is going on?
We're in this because of you. And like my wife is a COVID nurse. She works with the most infectious people, so it's a good thing that I am wearing a mask because you don't want me giving whatever she's got to you. Like we lost our best friend to this exactly a year ago, April 20th. We lost our friend Bobby Pinn from COVID, young guy, producer, really fit, really healthy guy. And we have a 6-month baby. Like, what do you not understand about this?
Where's majority
It's
of your
crazy.
audience from? I would think the States, no?
Yeah, most of my audience, I think about 30% is from the States, and then and I would think that these comments are coming from the States, probably Texas or Alabama or some of the red states that are very lax. Yeah, exactly. They just, I mean, I get some crazy comments about like this being a whole hoax and everything, and I'm like,
Let me tell you something.
Why
Josh.
you though?
Just think that right here in Athens, Greece, we are almost in the limit area where we lose our mind because we're almost 6 months in a curfew that we're not allowed to go outside 9 p.m. Okay, 6 months.
Wow.
We don't have hospitals anymore. They're all full. Okay, and we are in the middle of a situation. I believe I don't have to tell you about art. I have friends, dancers, musicians, cinematographers, filmmakers. Like you already got the idea of what's going on here.
Yeah.
And we still have people that they say, "Come on, man, with the COVID, and this is a scheme so they can destroy our soul and control the economy and blah blah blah." So, yeah, these kind of commenters. Block, delete, hidden, get the fuck out of here! Like, get a life, get a life.
They're the first to go. I just have no patience. Although I do genuinely try to flip people. I do like flipping people. Like
you and
when someone
Cody,
leaves.
Cody Warner. You and Cody. You
Oh,
know
does Cody do
Warner?
it? Cody does it, yeah.
All the time. All the time.
Cody.
So how do you
Well, you
flip
know-
someone then? Give me an example.
Should we keep
No-
something
normally-
for the podcast? I'm
Yeah, so
saying.
normally. Are we not on the podcast
I
right
think
now?
this is the podcast now.
This
I think
is.
you have-
That's it. All right, guys. It was a great podcast. Thanks for having me on. I'll see you guys later.
See ya.
Peace.
Cody Wanner does that too. He's a great guy. I like Cody. But I think look, most of the time you're on YouTube, you leave a nasty comment. I don't think you're a nasty individual. I think that maybe you're in a bad mood and you saw something that pissed you off, and you just let something rip. I mean,
Keyboard
I don't
warrior.
think. Yeah, I don't think. I think it's just a perception thing at that point. Like anything could piss you off. You know what I mean? Who knows what happened on the other end? Maybe your dog died. Maybe you got cut off in traffic. Maybe you got fired. It could be a million things. And so I think at that point, most people are just looking for attention, but like they just want to know that what they're saying and thinking is validated. That's not everybody, but I find that 50% of the time it is. And so what I try to do is just like either point out where they're wrong, but in a nice way, and be like, I see what you're saying. Like, yes, you have a point, but this is what I meant by that. And hopefully maybe the way that I say it is not going to instigate a fight, but it'll kind of like correct my point of view and maybe where we like disagreed. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But sometimes they're just looking for a fight, you know. But I think like if you started on the right foot of like trying to flip them, you know, like saying, hey, dude, you're totally right. I get what you're saying. Like, I hear you. But this is, you know, maybe you haven't thought about this. You know, sometimes you get people that go the opposite way, you know, and that's really cool. Sure. I love it when that happens.
You'll sometimes get the ones as well that say something not thinking that you're going to see it and respond, and then you ever had that? And then they're like, "Oh, I actually didn't think you were going to read this. Yeah, no, I love you." Like,
Yeah.
I think maybe at first, but I think people just got used to me responding. That that hasn't happened in like, I don't know. Although I will admit, the fastest way to get me to respond is leave a nasty comment. That's just like way. I'm like, oh, that's it.
there
I'm
we
on
go.
it.
Yeah. That's nice.
That's
I like
awesome.
that.
For those of you guys who are on the podcast and listening in, just quickly about Josh. I mean, Josh's got the looks of an actor because he is an actor, which we'll get into that as well. He's got the mind of a mechanical engineer. So, I mean, if you see some of his videos, absolutely insane, like the stuff that he does in his studio and everything. And he's got the personality of a true storyteller. And I think we were all talking about you, Josh, just a few weeks back, and we were really impressed at how, like, there's like this dichotomy, right, on YouTube where it's like you want to do creative stuff that kind of like fulfills your soul, right, for lack of a better way of saying it. But then there's also this like algorithm push where it's like you got to talk about gear, you got to talk about other stuff to try to hit the numbers and whatnot, right? And I think you've done such a fantastic job of kind of merging those two, where even your gear videos are like filled with story, and they have like all these like random like tangents that you go into, and I think I really think you've done a great job in merging those two. So if you guys, for the audience that's listening in, if you guys haven't checked out Josh's channel, please go ahead and check it out. It's called MAKE.ART.NOW.
And when we say
thanks,
Josh,
man.
let's say something that I believe the guys who were born back to 80s, 90s, you know, the beginning of 90s, they will understand. About a year ago, I don't know if you remember, Josh, I had made a montage, a Photoshop of you. The MacGyver of YouTube. You remember that? That I had sent you on Instagram.
You made a was it a video or was it a
Photoshop flyer that you were the MacGyver. I was the one that
now
sent
I want
you
to
that.
see it. I want to see it. I've gotten that before. But was it a drawing or
No,
was it
it
just
was a photo of the MacGyver, the old MacGyver poster. And you were there.
Emilio, show him the sign. Show him the sign you have there.
The sign?
Yeah.
Should we do that?
The giveaway.
The giveaway is that basically I tried to use the time machine going from Athens to LA, so I can steal this from you. I don't know. You don't have it anymore. Now I have it next to me.
right there.
Now we're more.
I love it.
It's better now.
That's great,
right?
actually. Lets us know who we're talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah,
There you go.
Me.
And speaking of that, Make Art Now.
Yeah.
How did this came up?
Like the name I think means.
You know, there's two reasons for it, and they both kind of happened at the same time. But I think the first one was Donald Trump. And now I'm not going to get into politics. But you know, to say the least, I live in California. It's a blue state. You guys can do the math. When Donald Trump was elected, it was such a shocker to me and my family and like all my friends and like my collection of like actor friends and all that. And I was sitting next to a friend and I was like, now what? And he was like, make art now. And I'm like, God damn, that's so true. You know what I mean? Like, so whether you like Donald Trump or not, it was just such a shocker at the time of like, it really did feel like our universe split into different directions. You know what I mean? I was like, what was supposed to happen was this way. And, you know, I'm not a fan of Hillary by any stretch, but that was just what was expected to happen. And then when, you know, we got a reality star as our president, it was like, what, like, what is going on here? Like, this is not the plan. And so Make Art Now was born out of that. But I think the name actually took on more shape and form after that. I was always kind of fascinated that like through the Renaissance period, you know, the deepest, darkest part of our history, like the best minds came out of that, you know what I mean? And so there is truth in like, you know, you kind of need this darkness in order to like create stuff and inspire
100%.
and so I was always fascinated with that. But I think on the complete opposite end, Make Art Now was always kind of instructions for you guys. And it was kind of like something I took away from Burning Man. And it's funny, I've been doing a lot of commercial pushing right now, so I don't really feel true to my name. I feel like MakeArt.NOW is more of my channel.
But you got to do that too. It pays the bills.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the first time I've sold any product, and I'm super excited about it. And so it's just kind of like, that's where it is right now. But you know, Make Art Now was kind of like the war against commerce, and like do it for the art and just like get really good at it and be an artist. And so that was my own kind of like agenda, which was, could I make every episode different? Could I lean into something that I'm not really good at? And essentially the large picture is, by the end of my time on YouTube, whether that's 5 years from now, 20 years from now, you know, 50 years from now, like who knows? By the end of it, have I morphed it enough where the body itself is a body of art? It's not just this guy made videos to gain popularity and get views and get money, but like he crafted something that took many, many years. That notion is really, really exciting for me. You know, can I leave behind a body of work that people are like, man, did he think of that the whole time? Or was it like an ongoing evolution? And it's been an ongoing evolution.
Josh, I want you to know that you succeeded on that. And,
I was going to say, yeah, that's the good vibe I get.
Oh, thank you.
You know, for me personally, when I get my wife watch a video that someone is renovating a studio, that he doesn't, you know, she doesn't even like to watch my videos, right? And she watches the whole episodes, short film, whatever anyone can tell that of Josh making his studio, that it's like a movie. It has a script, it has a structure. It gets you on the story, it begins, the climax, the end. This is something that it's called art, from the definition of that. And that's a difference that even when we see ads, I will never forget on this video specifically what you did with Skillset, right? That it was an ad segment, but to get to the ad segment, how you did this on the video. So it's not
that was true though. Are you talking about the first studio build? Yeah,
2019. 2019.
Yeah, that actually really did happen, and I remember actually when I was filming it, I was very embarrassed because what had happened was the wall shorted out, and I'm like, God damn it. Like, I'm supposed to be building this thing and like showing you guys how to do this, and I can't even get the LED to work. Like, I'm like, I'm smarter than this. I'm better than this. I know this. then I remember the cameras were rolling, and I was like, I should film this. I should film my struggle with it. And it's every time I do that, it always goes against my instinct. Like, I'm always like, I don't want to film this. Turn the cameras off. I'm super embarrassed. Like, and then I'm always glad when I do end up filming it, because like a day later, I'm like, oh, this is gold. Like, this is the good stuff. This is this is what you want. You want the meltdown. You want me like, you want to see me like really, really struggle with it, because then it makes the reward so much better when it does. When it pays off. And I think that if I were to say one difference between my channel and others that you see on YouTube that tell like the storytelling vlog portion, and maybe this is a good maybe something that the audience can take away on like how to like make their vlogs better, is lean into the terrible. Whenever something goes wrong, your first instinct is to shy away and to cut cameras, like we'll shoot it another day. At least mine is. And if you can really lean in at that moment and really be vulnerable and show the audience how much you're struggling, maybe add some commentary of like what's going on and allow those real emotions to flow through you, whether you use it down the line or not is regardless. But I can guarantee you, if you give it about a week, you're going to wish you had that footage, because it's going to show the audience a human side to you that is makes them really relate and makes them feel like they really know you. But then it also allows, in storytelling, it allows an area of subtraction, right? So like if you want to build up an arc, one way you could do it is start arcing up. And a lot of people do this with music, epidemic sounds, like the bass drops, right? You're like those build kind of sequences. But what a lot of people don't know is one way you can build an arc is by subtracting. You drop everything down. You now remove something from the audience or from the main character. And so anytime something goes wrong, automatically it's removing that, it's causing subtraction, and the audience wants it just as badly as you want it. They want that to be resolved. They want to see it fixed. And so it keeps their attention, it keeps them engaged, and it makes that payoff so much better when you do figure out a creative solution and you end up winning at the end.
That's really interesting, Josh. And curious, all of this stuff that you're mentioning or you're talking about, was this all learned from, like, I guess your acting background, or is this stuff that you kind of, developed over time doing YouTube?
I started off, I took a screenwriting course when I was in college. So I was probably like 21 or 22. Okay. And I was really impressed with like Ben Affleck and Matt Damon and the Duplass brothers and just all Britt Marling, like all the hardcore actors that were not cast because they were good actors. They were cast because they wrote their own story. The Owen and Luke Wilson, Vince Vaughn, like all these guys, they all wrote their own stuff. And so I went into, my storytelling came from, I took one screenwriting class and then I just bought all the books. Save the Cat, Hero's Journey, what are all the other books? There's probably only like 6 books you need to read. And so it'll take you maybe a week or two, but
I feel like I should be
I went
yeah.
It's all the same. It's all hero's journey stuff, right? You have like, there's like 12 points that I could literally go over them right now, and we could all memorize them, and you can apply this to a vlog and it'll work. Essentially, like, we dream hero's journey, right? It either ends up being like a nightmare or a really awesome dream, but it's a roller coaster. It's ups and downs. So I think whether you memorize a hero's journey or not, if you guys can keep one visual, which is you want the roller coaster, you want tension and release, right? All greatest songs, all greatest works of art, it's all tension and release. It's the most simple concept once you can visualize it, but it takes years to master and to really, like, I guess, really manipulate people, like, in order to set them up for, in order to set up tension and release without them knowing it. You know what I mean? That's what takes the time. But I started with screenwriting, and then I took an acting class, and like I was a terrible actor for a long time. I still feel like a terrible actor.
You consider yourself terrible actor?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I have some clips from Anamorphia when we first started shooting that I won't show anybody. Well, actually, I will show people because I think it's inspiring of like showing the final product, which I am proud of, and where it first started. To show you that I can do awful acting. I can do just as bad acting as anybody in this room. You know what I mean? Like, but it's all about layers, and it's all about giving yourself that permission to really go for it, go all the way. And also, you know, like that monologue I shot in Anamorphia 2. Do you want to know how many times I shot that?
The one where you're leaning on the car?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's a single take monologue. It's not a cut. I shortened it a little bit, but the original one is about 3 minutes long. I think the final version is like 2 minutes and 45 seconds between one single take. But the orbits around me slowly. But it's a 3 minute take monologue, and I set that up probably 5 different times, and I probably did 20 takes on each time, trying to get the timing of the camera right. And also I had to work out the script, and I changed some lines here and there, but ultimately I ended up memorizing it, working on it, and then putting it up. And I put that thing up on location. So I actually put it on that bridge that I filmed. I didn't fake that. I didn't have permits. And like, I shot that in 20 minutes. I literally put up the C-stands, put up the overhead bar, put up the orbit. I had a friend read me the other lines. I got it on the third. We did probably 3 takes. And I ended up using either the second or the third take. And so my friend was like, fuck, wow. Dude, you were dialed in there. But I didn't tell him. I was like, dude, I've shot this scene probably 80 times already in like the parking lot in front of my studio. You know, like I had it dialed in so that by the time it came to setting it up on location, like it was like, because originally I was going to shoot it. I was just going to use the parking lot because you couldn't really see. It's on a really, really tight lens. Yeah. But there was something about the lighting that, you know, you could kind of tell it was shot in a dark parking lot with some light. Like I had set up some fake lights to like mimic buildings. And then I was like, one day I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like I need to go all the way. What am I afraid of? I'm afraid of getting arrested. I'm afraid of getting shut down. Like the cops aren't going to shut me down. If they do, I'll just come back another day. I'm like, I should just go set up this shot. Like I know the lines, I know how to do it. It's gonna take me an hour's, tops. Like I might as well just like go for it. And so I did. I went for it, and it's probably the best thing ever because it's my absolute favorite part of that film. Even though it's so masturbatory as an actor to be like, here's my 3-minute monologue. Let me, you know what I mean? Like it's so masturbatory, but story-wise, that that monologue was so necessary because it's the only time that you see the vulnerability of the character and you understand what he's chasing after.
Yeah, and it was kind of like go little right before that, and then that was like calm before the storm, and then boom.
The tension. So that's the tension in the release. Yeah. Yeah. That's the release part. Up until that we were riding in the car and it was like boom, 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 and then I'm in Anamorphia and something happens to me, right? It triggers a thought, and then like that's all up here, and then you have that drop, which is now it's a chance to reset, and so everything. The
storytelling
one-on-one.
Storytelling one-on-one.
Yeah.
Josh, I need to tell you, and also to the audience right now, when you created something, because you created a channel that when you started with the gear reviews, you introduced a new character that I know a lot of people are disappointed that farewell. Right? But the whole process of having a different script for another character. I remember doing a tutorial on how you can do HUD elements in your videos. So I wanted
say that again. How to do HUD,
H-U-D, HUD elements. HUD elements.
HUD elements. Yeah.
And I want to get your idea, have the AI voice talk to me and tells me, so you mean that you can do that without any plugins? And I'm like, yeah. dude, I do that like 30 times. Because I was looking there, I was looking on. It wasn't feeling right talking to no one that I will put it in post later on. So when someone tries to break this thing and do what you did, it's not easy. Not you said 20 times or 30 times. It's like 200 times to speak to yourself, imagining that there is another character inside the room that keeps talking.
Yeah. You know what's funny is, so I've been this is probably going to piss a lot of people off. My number one request is how to do Otis. And I've specifically have not told people how, because I think the moment that I do and I give some real tips, it becomes everywhere on YouTube, and then it suddenly makes it not interesting. And selfishly, I wanted to, like, I've had Anamorphia arced out for quite a bit of time, and in fact, my fear was that this would happen, that, you know, either I would do a tutorial or someone would beat me to it, and then it would be everywhere, and then suddenly nobody would care about the storyline. And in fact, I remember having a conversation with Peter Lindgren, because
when he made the video, right? That he wanted
Peter made a video, and then he tagged me in it, and I was like, "You son of a bitch!" I was like, "No, don't do to me what
you didn't help him."
No, I didn't help him.
No,
I didn't help him. Well, no, that's not true. He did a video, and then we had a conversation. He sent me his video first, and he wanted my blessing. Essentially, he was doing the right thing. And then at this time, I was kind of in the James Matthews camp with the B-roll, and I didn't want what happened with Otis. I didn't want what happened with James Matthews with his with his handheld B-roll and this really kind of unique style that James clearly had started and cultivated. And then it just kind of took off from others. And I didn't want the same thing happening with Otis, because I wasn't done telling the story yet. You know what I mean? I didn't want that to happen too soon. And so I told Pete, I was blunt with Peter. I was like, listen, if you do this, you will not win my respect. Like, you do not have my blessing. Like, I hate to say this, you know, like, I don't want to be like this, but if you think that this is going to, you're only gonna piss me off, and it'll just cause a big rift. And he was really, really gracious. He took it really, really well, and he was very respectful. And I really do. He has my respect now, because I think any other creator could have just told me to fuck off and just do whatever they want. But Peter was super, super respectful. So I really do. And we hit it off too. You know, we had a great conversation. Then later I felt bad and I apologized. I was like, you do whatever you want. And that's when I did kind of show him how to, or I did do that little intro bit with him. But that wasn't my first instinct. My first instinct was like, no, go take this away from
my baby.
me.
Yeah.
But you know what? I actually have a new. I think that I've told the story. I killed off Otis, and what happens in Anamorphia after this
is he dead? Is he dead?
Yes and no. It gets. Let me tell you something. If you guys think Anamorphia 2 is wild, Anamorphia 3, 4, and 5 is fucking mind-blowing.
Yeah,
like, you guys
are planned out,
yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, you guys have
should be on Netflix.
Well, that's the goal. That is the goal. But
Only
the goal
Only Matavella. I don't understand why. Right?
What do you mean?
Only Matavella on Netflix. We want to see Josh Yo in Netflix.
Oh, don't worry about it. Trust me, I have a feeling that by the time I get done with these Anamorphia things, they'll probably have me reshoot Anamorphia 1 so that it fits the whole aesthetic. But look, it doesn't matter. Like, YouTube's the new Netflix. You know what I mean? Like, let me tell you something. If you guys put something up on Netflix, you're not getting royalties. Only maybe the actors are getting royalties, like, meaning every time it's screened, like, they get a little chunk or whatever, or if it gets sold off. But the directors and the producers, I don't think they get royalties. I think that it's a one-time deal. And whereas on YouTube,
it's ongoing.
I get paid on that every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, what do I want it on Netflix for at the moment?
That's true.
You know?
Yeah.
Anyway, with Otis, I have this new kind of goal, which is that I am going to be doing a tutorial in the next few weeks on O.T.I.S and how to do the voice and everything. And I will take you guys behind the scenes and show you exactly this fucking crazy workflow and
the script, everything. And the script, everything.
I'll show you everything. I'll show you how absolute bonkers ape shit you have to be in order to pull it off successfully. It takes a lot of work. Like, I don't know if you know how many lines I wrote for O.T.I.S. I probably, in Anamorphia 2, there's probably maybe 50 lines. But do you know how many attempts there were? There's probably over 800. 800 lines, like changing the word, the verbiage, shortening this, shortening that to make it fit, to make it work. 800 times. Like, that's insanity. That's nobody wants that. Like, just make a normal vlog. You know what I mean? Like, it's way easier. You know what I mean? You don't want this. Like, you can have it. If you could do it, like, you deserve it. You deserve to have O.T.I.S. I might as well give you the kingdom. But my new goal with O.T.I.S is that I want to actually... I'm fascinated with a potential storyline where people, essentially, I'll give you guys the ingredients with O.T.I.S and I'll sell my little HUD pack so you can use the same assets that I've used. Ooh. And I'll show you how to get the exact same voice. But then I'll also give you guys instructions in terms of the rules. And that if you use her voice, you can use other voices and call it whatever you want. But if you use her exact voice with my audio plugins that will make it sound exactly like her, you have to name her O.T.I.S. And there are a couple of rules.
She will rule the internet, right? That's your story.
Yeah.
That's her story.
Exactly.
She's gonna take over us.
So here are the rules. Here are the rules. Number one, she is always correct. So whenever you're doing a vlog with factual information, she has to be the one that is speaking the truth. She never lies unless it's intentional. But she's truthful, and so always double check the facts, right? The second one is that her mission is to seek truth and to help. And so there's honor, and that there's she's not malicious, she's earnest. And if there's anything malicious, it has to be on your end. So she is the light and you are the human, and you can be fallible, but she is the machine. So she has that reverence of honesty and integrity. And so there's that element to it. And then the third one is she has a sense of humor. And so she can lie to you if she wants, but it's always she's always in on the joke, and you always end up looking like the clown.
I'm going to show you your history browsing history, right?
Yeah, right. Right. So there's truth to that. You know what I mean? She's calling me out. And anyway, so those are the kinds of, what I'm into now is now seeing, instead of, I guess my energy has shifted. Before I was really trying to prove myself to the world and prove myself to YouTube and earn my merits and all that. And now I'm taking a page from Burning Man, which is really trying to be as inclusive as I can. So give you guys the steps that you need, and then hopefully make a body of art together. So whatever it is that you make, I can craft it into some bigger play and really just kind of blow people's minds and have them be a part of it. That's what I'm into now.
That's amazing.
I'm gonna be for sure one of the ones who are gonna try. I'm not saying I'm not gonna succeed. I don't think so. It's so hard, but I'm gonna try.
So you can do it. I think there are some rules. I've tried everything with O.T.I.S. There's certain programs where you can create voices from. I mean, shit. There's even apps on your phone.
For the voice, I must tell you that because I know one thing or two about audio, so I could make that happen. Even the pitch, everything.
It's not hard. Yeah, it's not hard.
It's the only easy part. The plugin for the audio. That's why I told you that I was admiring that you had a character. That's not easy. It's not easy to make your script for an A-roll. Not even a character.
Like I said, if I give you guys the rules,
it's not going to be the same.
It won't be the same, but at least it'll be in the ballpark. You know what I mean? At least look. I mean, when I first started O.T.I.S, I had no idea what her character was. In fact, I had no idea what the dynamic was going to be. At first, I wanted her to pump me up to make me look good. And that's where the ego is involved, right? Like, how can she say something wrong so that I can say something right and I look smart, right? That's exactly where the ego is involved.
The opposite.
But then I learned after like an episode or two, I was like, no. If I look dumb, it makes me look human. And the audience relates to that and they love that more. And I can be fallible. And so the way I do that is I pump Otis up, and Otis and I get in tiffs back and forth, and she always must get the upper hand with me. You know what I mean? And so I started playing with that probably after the third or fourth episode and really leaning into that. And, you know, I give her attitude by calling me a fucking wanker. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's like, that's character right there. You know, a machine that has a sense of humor that,
Speaking of a machine right now, okay, because AIs are the present and the future, but as for the machines now, we've seen other YouTubers or content creators that they started the lineup of products when these are bags or, you know, wares, hats, t-shirts, etc., etc.
Yeah.
However, we never saw someone who has the, you know, the guts to go and create something for the filmmaking process from scratch, and says, come on, man, I'm gonna create that and I'm gonna give that globally. So we have the born of the orbit, right? The marble orbit. And I would like to go into the technical details, but first of all, let's say to the audience, what exactly is that? What is this thing?
Well, I actually have it right above me. Here, I could just unscrew it.
What's up.
So if you're watching on YouTube right now, you can kind of see what Josh is going to show us.
I have this mounted. Let's see.
I love how you have everything mounted to the ceiling in your studio. It must be so much nicer than having light stands and tripods and just everything everywhere.
So this is the brain to it. This is the orbit. Essentially, it's a really powerful motor that's silent up to 3 RPM, but it's very precise. So it can rotate, like, if I program it correctly, it can rotate 1 rotation a month if I want. 1 rotation a year.
You can go that slow?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And it also can do, I think it can do up to like 35 RPM. We haven't tested it out. We put the limit at 10, but we know for sure that it can go faster. It's
with
just
an updates. For example, you can do updates in the future that you are going to be able to.
Yeah, we're gonna. So I am gonna be offering the motor by itself. So if you like, maybe you have speed rail and you have mounting options, and you know,
someone is like you. If someone is
exactly. Right. So all my DIY friends, they'll probably just buy the motor because they have all the stuff to make it work. But what they don't have is a very sophisticated motor. Like, this is an expensive motor. You know what I mean? Most of our overhead cost is just the motor and the programming and getting it silent. Like, getting it silent is expensive. And that's why it hasn't really been done by the other big players like Edelkrone and Rhino and who's the other? There's a couple other companies. Like, this is like what's really been coveted is like, how do you get these motors to spin with precision and have them be dead quiet? And so you can have a motor that's dead quiet, but it's slow. And normally you don't get a motor that's dead quiet that can go fast or slow. And that's where this one comes in. And that's why it's like so much more expensive than, like, if I had, for example, if I had 3 of these on, like, because, like, let's say one of those companies, they're linear sliders. You have a motor going this way, you have a motor going this way, and you have a motor going this way. So if I had 3 of those on there, this would have to be for sale for like $4,000. Nobody would buy it.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It was just, it would price itself out. It wouldn't be useful. But because it's only one, I could invest more into one motor and show you guys why, and give you guys the setup, and And then, you know, obviously the optics of it is what everyone's after, right? They're not after just the motor, but the idea that you're the center
of the universe. The center of the
exactly.
universe.
You're the center of the universe.
And it has plenty, from the videos that I've shown so far, it has plenty of uses, not only for YouTubers, because if you're, for example, doing gear reviews, like, for example, I'm sure one of the backers should be Farouk, iPhone Joe, right? That if you're doing product and gear review videos, that you can do the 360. If you're a one-man solo shooter that you want to show a time-lapse, for example, a day in life, or you're doing something that you want to... Jesse Driftwood does this a lot. He does time-lapses while he's editing. Or if you want to have shots in your videos that, let's face it, gimbals are nice, but being on the ninja walk all the time and going, you know, like 360 all the time, this is not easy. This is not easy. It's not practical. And I think that this kind of machine is going to solve a lot of different scenarios that we as filmmakers can use.
I think it's going to create scenarios that you can use as well, which people aren't able to do right now.
Well, I truly think, you know, Center of the Universe campaign is more about my my belief that Hollywood's going to disappear in about 10 years. It's already starting to evaporate, and the structure in which we consume content is already, it's changing so fast now. And I truly think that in 10 years, you're going to see 99% of the mainstream, you know, Netflix films that look super high quality, that look as good as anything on there now, is going to be shot by individuals like ourselves who are actors, directors, storytellers, and they have LEDs. They have LED screens, and you know, it's they're little splinter cells of maybe like 5 or 6 friends together making these epic movies, and the content they're making is amazing. And so I think the final chapter in the bridge between, or that final threshold that needs to cross from YouTuber to actor, is acting and storytelling, right? A mastery of those two. And those two things are not really offered on YouTube space right now. There's literally no acting courses on YouTube that are any good, at least not that I've found. It's all really old actors, like really old acting coaches. That information is solid, but they're just not really relatable, and they're not showcasing like you would if you're doing a Photoshop tutorial, where like the person who took the photo is showing you how to clean the photo and here's the final image. You don't get that with acting. And so like there's a huge...
Do you think this will happen? Do you think this will happen soon? Like Masterclass,
Yeah.
I think the Masterclass, right?
Oh, yeah.
That they teach...
well, I mean, I'm going to start it on the channel. I'm going to start giving away some of my acting advice. I don't think I'm a great actor. I think I'm a good editor, and I think that I'm a good storyteller. And I think
you're an
both
amazing
of those,
storyteller. No flirts, but...
Thank you. I think both of those two things can make a terrible actor good, right? I think you can hide it. You can trick it. And there are some tricks. And so I'm going to start showcasing those things. And I think that's going to make YouTube a much better platform because, look, story will never go out of style. Story is like, we dream in story, you know? It's so... I was saying this example the other day because I have a 6-month-old baby.
Congrats,
my baby.
Man.
Congrats, by the way.
Thank you.
Congrats.
So it was funny. I was playing peekaboo with him, right? You know, and I'd run up to him. I go peekaboo, and his eyes light up. It's like the most amazing magic trick this kid has ever seen. He's like, oh my God, there you are. I love it. I love it. He's like so happy. That's tension and release. That's story. That little act of me disappearing and then reappearing is story. Because in his mind, I completely vanished, right? Object permanence
And
is the
appeared.
thing. I am not,
reappeared.
if I go like this, I am gone. I'm not in the room. You know what I mean? And then I reappear and he's like, there you are. Like, oh my God, this is amazing. And that trick works time and time again with him. And so I'm like, man, we are hardwired to love story. Like, it is in our brains to want something to be taken away only for it to reappear again and just make it exciting. And so I think that story will just continue getting more and more complicated and complex and evolve, and us as the audience will start, admiring more works like, Chris Nolan's, like, really heady. Like, I think that'll be normal storytelling in about 10 years.
J.J. Abrams.
Oh yeah, all the really heady stuff. It's just a complicated version of it. You know what I mean? And so, I say more power to it. I think that what I've seen in just the past 3 years with YouTube evolve, and how creators have, like, dude, good color grading is everywhere on YouTube now. That 3 years ago, that was not the case. If you could color grade, you were like really, really good.
Stand out, yeah.
Yeah, and people would subscribe just because your color grades were great.
What do you mean?
That ain't the case. That ain't the case anymore.
Teal and orange, lad. What do we...
Who?
Lad, teal and orange, lad.
Teal and orange.
Oh, teal and orange. Yeah.
And speaking of Orbit, right now is a campaign. Is a Kickstarter campaign only, or you can order it individually?
Yeah, right now we are about 3/4 of the way through the campaign, so we got like 10 days left. Okay. We've raised $400,000. We broke that mark.
That's incredible.
That was yesterday.
And yeah,
not 1 mil yet. Not 1 mil yet. I said 1 mil. I said 1 mil.
I got greedy. I wanted to get to $1 million. But when I first started the campaign, I was like, what do I really think we could do? I was like 500,000. I was like, if I don't get any help from any of my friends, and it's just me, and we put it out there, I think I could raise 500,000, and I think that's true. I think that's right on par. I think we'll cross 500.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
how fast did the $1 one go? You did a $1.
I mean, people were just hitting reload. So for those of you who don't know, I posted the other day, I was like, guys, the Orbit is going on sale for $1. I have one unit that's going to sell for $1. I'm not going to tell you when it's going on, but sometime today, it's going to go up for $1. And some girl bought it, and she had no idea what she got. She just was like, wait, what? I won?
Wait, it was luck? That's funny. Wow.
Yeah, she snagged it. And people were like, you're going to have a bot. Like, it's going to get snatched by a bot. And some chick, maybe she did write a script. I don't know. But she got it. And she didn't know she won, apparently. I think she thought she was just pledging $1 just to back the campaign.
But that's the best. It's organic.
Now she's getting like $1,000, studio. You know what I mean?
That's great.
Robot. Yeah.
After the campaign is over, where people are going to be able to find Orbit?
So we'll probably have the first batch. We're going to order 1,000 units, and so I think we have about 400 sold right now. And so we probably will have a few more units for sale on the website, but we'll probably push that fulfillment date back. So instead of trying to rush them out by September, it might be like January 2022 before we can ship. But they'll be on the website. I don't know that we're going to do another campaign again after that. I think once it runs its course, like the whole point of Kickstarter is really
to
get your name, to get your name out there, to get people excited about it, and so I probably will have some units on the website. And I don't know if it'll be at the same price. It might be, but it might just be pushed back a little bit. I mean, we still don't even have the final cost down. We know it's expensive and we have a ballpark, but I mean, it's actually kind of really risky because some of these components have not been sourced yet. And I'd say like 95% has, but like there's still like some question marks that.
Okay, have you guys confirmed the batteries? You guys were a little up and down on that, right? Like debating what to do with the batteries.
Is it 12 o'clock already? Is that real? What time is it?
Yeah.
It is.
It's about to be.
12:57.
You see how...
1 p.m.
Hold on one second. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No worries.
How fast the time goes by.
Yeah, man.
In a good company.
I really want to ask him about his studio if his wife designed it or if he did it all himself. Because like everything matches, like all the browns.
Guys, it's crazy. So I actually have Potato Jet coming over. He's supposed to be here at 12. So hopefully he's running a little late because I need to get this place ready.
Thank you. Thank you so much, first of all, Josh.
Yes, thank you.
So much for that.
My pleasure. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to finish on? I got maybe like probably 2 minutes left. Is there anything else I didn't cover quite? Or
Chris, what do you say?
I have a quick question. So your studio always amazed me, like how well it matches, and like even just in the background there, all the browns work, even like your headphones. Did you do that all, or was that a lot of the missus' help too?
No, my wife does not help me with this stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so you got a good eye for that.
She helps me in a lot of other ways.
Yeah.
But no, this is all color contrast stuff. You know, brown and blue are opposites. Brown is yellow. You know what I mean? So like it's all once you know color, complementary colors and tertiary colors and analogous colors and those things, it starts clicking. It's funny. The reason why I wear this shirt all the time is because it makes skin pop.
There we go.
So no matter what the lighting, you're always going to get a good shot because it's the opposite of skin.
Okay. There you go. Good to know.
That's why I just branded myself with the denim, denim blue.
How many of those do you have? Honestly.
I have 6 of them hanging up over there.
Oh, wow. Do you wear that outside of YouTube life as well, though?
Yeah, I wear it every day.
You do, yeah?
Yeah, this is all I wear.
It's easy.
I mean, sometimes I'll wear a denim jacket, but it just makes it easier. Like, I stopped picking my wardrobe like 2 or 3 years ago. In fact, I used to wear these stupid hats. When I first started the channel, you can see it. I have like a hat on because I thought that was something that I should do.
Yeah.
And then somebody made a comment one day. They're like, dude, you have fabulous hair. Why are you wearing that stupid fucking hat? And after that comment, I was like, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
If I had
why am I wearing this stupid hat?
If I had your hair, I wouldn't wear the stupid hat.
Oh man. Well, nothing against hats, but I mean, if you see these I was wearing dumb hats. Like you guys have normal looking hats.
You were like a skateboard guy.
Oh my god!
Was like a fedora or something?
It's super bro. I was a super bro wearing like, I think one of them was like a feather. You know, it's like clearly
cowboy hat.
It was like one of them's a dream catcher. You know, like what am I doing here?
It's very actorish, I'd say.
Yeah.
What is the hats?
Like the hats, yeah, the style of the hats.
I don't know what I was thinking, but
Josh, I wanna say first of all a huge thank you, and I wanna say that we could go on for hours and hours, and I can't wait first of all for the COVID era and restrictions to end, so we can meet up to Sony Camp.
Well, you guys are invited to Los Angeles and to the studio once COVID lifts. I'd love to have you guys down here. It'd be fun.
Thank you from heart, thank you for being here. Not only on the show, thank you for being here on this community, on the YouTube community, because I don't think you have realized how many people you inspire and how many people you made. Sure. Man, I would love to do something like Josh when he's doing reviews. So this is something that I've heard from more than 50 people, me personally. So you can understand.
Wow.
Yeah.
And even the inventions, right? The fact that he's selling something like this, like
MacGyver,
dude.
In one second, 1 second before the boom.
Like I have this bike behind me, and I've been trying to figure out how I could film it, and I need somebody else to like rotate around it. Now I got the Pro coming in, so I'm gonna set it up outside, have some nice rotating shots. There you go.
Woo, dude. I mean, that's exactly what it's ideal use for. Is like, how can you get those B-roll shots where you need to film yourself and you don't have anybody, you know?
Yeah.
And so really it came out of necessity for me because we're still,
I can't wait to see it on a drummer in a super slow motion, the drummer super fast. The orbit.
Oh yeah.
And also, the hair and the dust.
It's like water droplets off the drum.
Man,
and
that would be.
I mean, it'll be funny to see how it evolves, and yeah, I mean, just to see what speeds we end up figuring it out. I mean, this is a brand new thing for me, so I feel very much like I'm flying by the seat of my pants, and I'm way in over my head for sure. But everything that I've ever done has been that way. Building art at Burning Man, starting a YouTube channel. These are scary things, you know. I definitely don't feel like an expert in them, and so I'm
It comes
excited
off the
to see.
opposite.
Well, I'm terrified. I'm terrified inside. I don't know what I'm doing. But you know, I think the whole point is that like you go through those things that are very challenging, and in a year from now, it'll just be another thing on the resume, and I'll be like, yeah, now I know how to do that. Now we can make it better. You know what I mean? And so that's the goal. So anyway, awesome. I think that's a good note to end on. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Perfect.
Hey, thank you guys so much. Gerald's was the first one that I watched. I really liked it. So I wish you guys a lot of success. I think you guys got the good formula here.
Thank you so much.
I'm excited to see where you guys take this.
Appreciate it. Thank you so
Appreciate it,
much.
Josh.
We know
Thanks a
you're
lot.
super busy with a Kickstarter, the kid, YouTube. You're on news channels, so really appreciate you taking the time out.
Hey,
brother.
thank you guys.
Awesome.
All right.
Take
Keep
care.
doing your thing.
Bye.